The worst, though, is when the cat wakes you and you know that they have like a bowl full of food.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there.
Hello.
And that is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
And I am Kelly, and we are all in person, which is how I would prefer it.
Hell
Yeah.
yes. Definitely better.
It is better.
Yeah. Eric had something he wanted to talk about, though.
I do.
What?
I do. It's a new stupid level of AI.
Okay.
I was looking through some media thing, and I saw this post said, "What if you could adjust the camera angle and it looked like it was in the original?" And this idiot had chosen Stalker by Tarkovsky, one of the single great art films ever made,
Oh my God.
and decided he could do better camera angles than Tarkovsky could.
Oh, interesting.
And what it is, there's like 3 different shots. And one of them was the main guy standing there with somebody behind him. But then when they added the go-around shot, the guy standing next to him disappeared. So I'm going, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
And the other one is there's a very pointed image of these 2 children in this grouping of arrows and stuff that are all pointing down to them, kind of making a point. And I guess they felt they could belabor the point by making the outside rim spin. I forgot what the other one was. But first of all, they did not look seamless. They did not look like they belonged in the movie, even if you hadn't seen the movie. But if you had seen the movie and watched a lot of Tarkovsky, which I have, going, I think Tarkovsky knew, one, what a dolly was. And if you wanted a dolly shot, guess what? He did one. It's not like he never used a dolly shot. He certainly did. It's not like he never used moving shots. The sci-fi one we mentioned earlier,
Solaris?
He has a massive moving shot in that goes on forever. And it's just, to me, it hit me about the same level as Ted Turner in the 80s with, I'm going to colorize Casablanca. It's like,
Oh.
okay, first of all, colorization looks like shit.
Ooh.
Second, no, you don't need to do that to a classic. It's bad enough with the remakes and stuff if they're not done well, but to just look at original and just do that, and to think you're improving it.
What is this on? Was this on YouTube or like
No, it
where
was-
did they post it?
I don't know if it was Instagram or some AI heavy thing,
Wow.
but
Oh, it hurts my soul.
it was
like,
actually,
a lot.
and it was a couple weeks ago that I saw it. This wasn't just recently, but it just stuck with me and just sat there going, so many things wrong with the thinking. It's like the biggest problem, I think that a lot of kids who grew up more on Marvel movies and stuff, and in this era, when they're watching older movies, feel the camera always needs to be moving, because nowadays it's always moving.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the movie is. But yeah, it's just like, no, man, come on.
Wow. Oh, that's truly awful. I've kind of gone in the opposite direction where I've started communicating with ChatGPT, which I'd never done before. But I was trying to figure out, I had a bunch of plant questions and I kept Googling it and going deeper and deeper into weird, like, plant websites and plant communities and getting all this like contradictory information. And I asked some people on Facebook about some stuff and I got some real weird mixed responses. And so I
I
started.
saw that post. I was like, what?
It was very weird. I was like, I do not want to plant this one specific plant. To which somebody said, you should plant this one specific plant. I'm like, you fucking did not read my post.
No.
Don't respond, please.
Just saw the headline.
Oh my God. So I just started talking to ChatGPT because a therapist friend of mine was talking about how she uses it as a tool. And I was like, I don't know, I'll fucking talk to it about it. And it was really helpful. And I was like, you know what? I don't need Facebook. I have my own friend now. Just hang out with ChatGPT. We can have a nice conversation.
You can do that on Instagram, like, for real. Have you seen those when you're scrolling every once in a while? It's like, would you like to chat with, I don't know, a filmmaker or some generic term?
Oh.
and you click on it, and it's a interactive AI. It's
Wow.
very weird. Like,
Whoa.
it seems uncomfortable.
Well, that requires me to be on a social media platform, which I feel like I'm just getting further and further
Yay.
away from.
Yeah.
Join me.
I
right.
know.
Eric,
Kelly
you have to
inspired
stay.
us.
That's right.
And
Straight
keep all the
motherfucker.
sites running.
Exactly.
It's a little easier for me because I have become absolutely cutthroat with blocking people.
That's
It's
great.
just not worth the time.
Yeah.
Literally hundreds of people on frigging X because
Yeah.
that's easy.
Yeah.
A bunch of people, some people on Instagram, and finally started to do a lot of people on Facebook. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I do have two good things though.
What's
Ooh.
that?
We got our first text message,
Oh, nice.
What? Yay.
and David Busboom gave us a nice donation.
Aw.
And is he the one who texted as well?
Nope,
Oh.
two different people.
Wow.
Yes, I think. Oh no, he's the same person.
Okay.
But his note on the donation was long overdue for all the episodes I've enjoyed. Thanks for all the great listening.
Oh, thank you,
Aw.
David.
That's
And his
nice.
text message. Hey, Kelly, Eric, and Vanessa, David here. I'm a long-term listener, first-time texter. You're the first.
First ever. We shall engrave your name upon our mics in your honor.
I've been meaning to reach out for a while, and as I just finished listening to your Atomic Monsters episode, and you covered 3 of my personal favorites. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
This seemed like a good time to do so. I've been a fan of Kelly's since he was a regular panelist on the Lovecraft E-Zine. And it's been great to follow this podcast and get to know you all. Keep up the good work, everybody. Fun fact, my ex used to call me H-Man whenever I got a cold sore. I am stealing that.
That's
I'm going to use that.
incredible.
That's fantastic.
Wowzer.
Oh, David, thanks for reaching out and thanks for listening to the show. That's amazing.
I appreciate it.
And the donation is
Yeah,
quite wonderful.
that is always really, really well appreciated. Eric, you have some news on our film, The Connoisseur.
Yeah, we were selected by the Seattle Film Society to screen in their locals only. It'll be The Connoisseur along with 3 other shorts, Bubblegum, Bench October, and Ensure Domestic Tranquility. I think it's a 2.5 or 2 hour event. They show the things, and then the 4 of directors from those 4 shorts will sit and answer questions for a while. And it's pretty cool because it's invite. Like I said, it's invite only. So it's going to be at the Northwest Film Forum if you're in the Seattle area. I think it's $15 to attend, but should be 7 p.m. that night. And yeah, Q&A and wrap up at 9. So it's a 2-hour event. So plenty of good, fun stuff to do. And Northwest Film Forum is pretty cool.
It's
What-
a cool place.
What was that date again?
April 23rd.
April 23rd. Okay, cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Be selected, one of 4 films selected for something like
Yeah.
that. That's very neat.
Yeah, they do one every couple months or something like that, and it's just all picked out invites. So I got a email 2 or 3 months back that said, "Hey, can you get us your short for us to check out?" I was like, "Well, yeah." So, and this is the result.
Wow. That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it going to be filmed or anything? The Q&A?
I don't know. There is some post like little mic interviews or whatever. I know you've seen those with somebody's got these tiny little mics. They're always like the Mariners do them all the time, or a few other places I've seen. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's a large group or everybody's just calling them that.
Right.
Nice.
Okay, well, let's get down to what we actually talk about here, which is movies we've watched. And I don't think I've talked about that I finally saw The Monkey.
No,
Oh,
you did not.
yeah. What did you think?
I liked it.
Cool.
I didn't love it.
Sounds familiar.
I think I fell more on Eric's side of it in that it tonally was all over the place. I was like, I wish this was funnier if they were going to be funny, or I wish it was scarier if they were going to
Yeah.
be scary. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. The acting was all fine. The monkey itself was great. And
Yeah.
some of the shots of like when it was looking at its eyes in the dark, I was like, wow, that is really cool looking. And yeah, overall, I thought it was some pretty good fun. There's a stab at the end with the cheerleaders and the bus that I thought was wildly out of place and a really bad effect and a bad way to end the film.
It was very random.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super random.
Yeah.
But other than that,
But,
I was entertained. Did not hate it.
Nice.
Nice.
That's what you want out of a movie at the least.
For a Stephen King adaptation,
Yes. Good point.
I would say that it falls on the plus side of those.
Oh, yes.
So that's The Monkey that is available now to stream as a rental.
Oh, cool. Well, the movies have been kind of sparse lately, like the theaters. So
Yeah,
I went ahead and watched Black Bag, which is not something I would normally seek out, which is a recent Steven Soderbergh joint. It's sort of spy versus spy married to each other situation. It was really good. It was like a nice little sort of almost whodunit mystery setup. Cool. It's actually kind of smaller spaces than you'd think in the trailer. It's centered around initially this dinner party where a bunch of people within an agency are invited because the lead guy has been asked to find out who has turncoated in their agency and is going to potentially set off a big device or do something that's going to kill a lot of people. So he invites them all to dinner and slips in a truth serum into the curry. And just turns out that everyone's sort of sleeping with each other and has all kinds of problems with each other. And so a lot more kind of comes to light. And then he's got to parse through that and figure out what's happening between going to work each day and how things are playing out there versus weird messages he's getting, weird individual conversation he's having, and then the relationships everybody have with one another. So it was just like a fun, easy breezy whodunit movie.
Is that a rental or is?
I saw it in theaters, so I don't know if it's available yet. But if it's a free thing, then I'd say go for it. Like, I don't know if I'd pay for it unless you're really into that kind of thing.
The trailer looked really cool.
Yeah. I would say it felt smaller scale than the trailer led me to believe.
Okay.
But it had more talent in it than I realized. Like, there are a lot more actors in there that I was like, oh, you're in this. Oh, okay, you're in this. Like, Pierce Brosnan's in it. It's like, oh, hello.
Nice.
There you are. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. I was really glad that I checked it out. But I guess maybe I'm not the right audience to be the person who like goes forth and is like, I'm not the Agatha Christie, Cluedo, whatever person. So
Okay.
Wow.
Black Bag.
That's a new one to Shudder. It's one of those drop in. Let's check it out from this year. Shadow of God.
I've not heard of this one.
Mm-mm.
It's another exorcism movie, but it goes really different places. I'll keep subtle, keep a little quiet because it really goes some weird places and does some interesting ideas for an exorcism film. It's one of those I'm watching going, I can't tell if I really like this or if I just find the idea very intriguing. But the lead guy, Mark O'Brien, is really good. Plays a who's the preacher who's doing an exorcism, and the guy this is the opening scene, is working with gets killed, and he gets a call from the home office. He's like, don't talk about this, but 6 of our exorcists have been killed tonight.
Oh.
And it's like, he's gone, go and find out what's going on. And runs into his supposedly dead father.
Oh.
So it was interesting, and I do enjoy where it went. So I'd be curious after you guys see it if you're like, well, that was just silly, or if you're like, okay, that was a nice, interesting twist for Exorcist films.
Is that foreign or?
No, it's it's in English, but I don't think it's Canadian or Australian. I'm pretty sure.
Shadow
it's
of
US.
God. That sounds very cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good title.
Yeah.
Very strong.
It's Canadian.
It's Canadian. Okay.
Them Canadians.
Okay. Well, I did see a new movie called Novocaine. with
Oh
Jack
my
Quaid.
God. Wow. Okay. How was it?
It's fine.
Okay.
I've watched the first trailer, and the first time I saw the trailer, I was like, oh shit. Then the second time going, So this looks fun, and I like that lead actor so much
Yeah.
that I'm like, I hope it does really well. But
He's very good.
Cool.
The problem I think with it is it's kind of a wacky premise in that he feels no pain, and so he's going to be fighting these guys, and he's really not equipped to deal with them, but he's almost super powered because they can't really hurt him. But with that kind of premise, you want it to be a little wackier, and it's almost treated seriously. And I mean, there's a good level of humor going on, but I felt the entire time like I wanted it to be just a little bit more. It reminded me of the movie Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I did too, and I was like, wait a second, this is reminding me of this, but I remember loving that movie, and this one I was so on. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Jack Quaid is really good. I like him in it, but he was looking pretty weird in this. It wasn't because of all the damage he was taking, and some of the damage he was taking was pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
He just looked very thin and drawn, and I was like, okay, buddy, I want you to stay healthy now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Send him a sandwich.
Is his character... He didn't seem like his character is a great departure from what he plays in The Boys. Is it?
Well, I think that's just his delivery of everything.
Okay.
He's a banker.
Oh, okay.
So, and he's slightly embarrassed because he knows he has this issue, and so somebody asks him out that he's kind of got a crush on, and he goes out with her, but for a meal, but all he gets is milkshake, and then he starts telling her, you know, I can't chew on anything because I might bite my tongue off and I wouldn't feel it, and I'd choke on it. And this is how he starts telling the story of what is happening, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a wild thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's called Novocaine.
And in the story, can he just not feel pain, but he can feel everything else?
Well, not necessarily. It doesn't follow a lot of great rules because he doesn't feel pain. He does have sex with this girl, and he's having a good time there. But I was also like, okay, not feeling pain only gets you so far if you've taken a bunch of head blows.
Yeah.
You might not hurt, but you're going to be out.
Yeah. Bleeding a lot.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff.
Huh. And is that out for streaming at this point?
That
or is it
is
still...
a rental.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, I was just trying to find something to watch the other day that was very low risk. So threw on, I've never watched it on Shudder, Hell House LLC. And they just released the director's cut. It's in the carousel on the top. I have no idea how it differs from any other cuts.
No, there's like 4 of them out, I think.
Yeah, there's 4. Yeah, there's definitely 4.
I think
Four
it's an
cuts?
okay.
Films.
No, 4 movies.
Oh, okay.
I think it's an okay, one of the better found footage films, but I don't know if I need to see the director's cut.
I think they have, from what I read in the synopsis, it has 8 additional minutes. So hold on to your hat. Yeah, it was, you know, I liked the characters. I liked the setup. I liked the general idea. I think that all worked really well. But then once they started explaining what was happening, you start seeing what was happening in this house. I was like, this is stupid.
Sort of like the director's cut, because I don't remember them explaining that much in the original. So
there
maybe
was just a lot of like little hints here and there, and then the last 10 minutes you see so much. Like you see a lot of these shapes and people, and you know, kind of roughly you can fill in the blanks very easily, and I think it's a little hokey and a little, I don't know, it's just kind of a dumb. I think it would have been better served if they left it much more vague and not had like a stinger of like, and it's still out here.
Oh, well, yeah,
I can
because that's
still
kind
get
of
ya.
3 more movies.
I know, exactly. I don't even know what those are going to be about because I don't know how that company exists after the first one. Surely they went bankrupt.
New things.
Who owns
different
the
things come
LLC
in, so.
now? Like, how do you transfer that legally? Like, they're all dead. Like,
Usually an LLC has provisions for if the deaths of all the members happens. usually verbiage put into LLCs for that. So hopefully.
Well, I'm going to have to watch the rest probably in October and find out just how the legality of this works out. Because that's my biggest question coming out of this movie.
I'm sure it will answer that.
It won't just be like, and then 3 years later, it was back in the public domain and somebody else bought it.
Explain to me how a low-budget, self-financed, self-distributed film is not the director's cut right off the bat.
I also was curious about this. I was like, so who is like really pressing you in the direction you didn't want to go the first time around?
Right.
Well, who is like sticking their thumb on you and going like, nope, no artistic creativity for you, sir.
I gave you $100,000. You're not going to go there.
Yeah, I gave you $100. You're not going to go there.
Right.
Yeah, that's sort of like for me, like I really enjoyed Donnie Darko. And there is a director's cut, which I have never watched because people said it explained what happened. It's like, you know what I liked about Donnie Darko?
Yeah.
It was left ambiguous. So it's just like, I'm good.
Literally one scene in the Donnie Darko director's cut that's helpful because it bridges the gap between two other scenes where you're like, wait, why is this couple, like, why are they mad at each other in this scene? That's like the only useful thing is you see how they like get into this argument. Everything else I was like, please.
There's also strangeness like, my favorite film's Amadeus, and they did a director's cut years ago, and that was the only one available until January, when they released the theatrical cut with the notification that this was never the director's cut. The director, Milos, did not like the director's cut. It was released without his authorization.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But so they finally released that, which I think is superior. There's some real problems in the director's cut, but you just never know. Maybe somebody came along and said, let's add some shit.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Hell House LLC. That's on Shudder.
All right, I saw one tonally very different than we've talked about. Sing Sing,
Yeah.
which I believe is an Oscar nominee for something, but I don't know what. But it's really good.
Oh,
It's a feel good prison movie. You don't get a lot of those. You get every once in a while you get a Shawshank Redemption, but this is much more low key. It's based on a true story of a group of prisoners who formed a theater group in Sing Sing, and they put on. They did some Shakespeare, and then this one time they're sitting around. They're pitching for what their next one will be, and they just throw these crazy ideas. So the guy who is not a prisoner, but is like helps them run the program says, I'll go out and I'll write a storyline to fit everything. You're going to get time travel. You're going to get Freddy Krueger. You're going to get pirates. You're going to get all the stuff you want. And he goes and he writes this play. The group was called Rehabilitation Through the Arts, and incredibly successful. I believe the lead character in the movie is a fictionalized character, amalgamation of a bunch of characters, but most of the actors are prisoners, actual prisoners. The credits at the end with so-and-so played by themselves, and it's all
interesting.
all themselves. So I looked up and said, yep, those were not necessarily, maybe not current, but some current and some former prisoners.
Wow.
And it's insanely well acted for a movie with very low budget, and the budget leaks on the scenes at times. And some of the prisoners it's obvious they're not actors, but they encompass their role well enough, they understand what they're doing well enough that it really works. And the lead is just charismatic as all hell. I'm like, this guy needs to do a lot more stuff. What was his name? It was I closed the wrong door. Where'd it go? But he is one of the main storylines is there's two guys. One is the guy who started it, and then this other guy comes in who is more prison tough. So they kind of conflict, but then they end up becoming incredibly good friends. Coleman Domingo, who plays the lead.
Wow.
And just phenomenal. He was in Lincoln and Selma and Euphoria. So been in a lot of stuff. Well, we're seeing if you kind of want, I need a feel-good prison film.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes that's exactly what you need.
Sing Sing. What's that on?
It was, I believe it was HBO or Max or whatever the hell those things are anymore.
Right.
I know. I was go the wrong one.
Was this, you said Oscar nominated. Is this a new movie from like
Yeah,
last year? Or?
last year.
Okay. I have not even heard of this one.
Yeah, I remember hearing a little bit about it, and it sounded like people were really loving it, but I just assumed it was like a dark, intense indie film, and I was like, I can't take it.
I'll be honest. I was looking because I was interested in it too.
Yeah.
But you know how IMDb has those content things?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to look up and see if there's like any rape scenes in this. And I just don't feel like watching something that intense.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
Okay.
It's probably R-rated for language. But yeah, I was on Max and for rent on other places.
Fantastic.
Nice.
All right. That sounds cool. Guys, how about we take a little break? And then when we come back, we are talking about animals.
Sure.
Okay.
Can anything stop the animal? The animal! It's a big, powerful 4x4. But when the going gets tough, it bares its claws to climb over things that get in its way. The animal! The animal! Can anything stop the animal? The animal! The animal, clawing its way to the top. The animal, each sold separately. Batteries not included. New from Galoob.
And we are back. Eric, this was your subgenre pick.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about animals.
Okay.
You know, if you wanted to do Air Bud or something like that, sure. But either animals are pets, whatever. We're just chilling, having some fun, watching some weird shit.
Nice and generic.
Yep.
I appreciated that. You want to go first then, Eric?
Diving in.
5 minutes.
All right. My movie was Rats, Night of Terror.
Rats. What do they want from us? Rats. Why are they man's enemy? Rats. They are watching and waiting. Rats. Their time has come. Why do rats repel us? What is it about those little furry bodies that's so frightening? Just think of them close to you.
They're here. They're coming. God, no!
Who could stop them, and how? Rats are here, under our feet, all around us.
Come on, out in the open so I can smash you to pieces. Come to the slaughter.
A strange rat from another community came into it. He was soon killed. And after it's eaten,
Seething, teeming millions, their little red eyes gleaming with rage and hunger. And they're waiting for you.
No! I don't want to die like that! No! They'll eat us alive! They'll kill us all! Kill all of us!
For the last time, I'm warning you. Drop the guns, Kurt. Go on.
you'll never get away.
You two move that console and barricade yourselves in.
No.
I'll try to stop them.
Rats, they're waiting for you. Tonight, because this is your night of terror. Here come the rats.
A Bruno Mattei joint. Which, about 20 minutes in, I realized this was one of the early ones I watched with him, from him. So I'd already seen it, but this is the new Severin remastered and re-released with an insane number of extras for a movie by this filmmaker, but I love it. Bruno Mattei, you might know from Island of the Living Dead, Terminator 2, and Jaws 5. He also was... there's another director listed, Claudio Fragassa, who is known for the stellar Hell of the Living Dead and Troll 2.
Oh, boy.
So, you know, powerhouse is coming together to create Written by Rosella Drudy, who worked with both directors quite a bit. And also both the directors are listed as contributing writers. Starring Octavian Del Acqua, who's in 30 Coins, Snuff Killer, John Wick 2, 327 stunt credits.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
And that shows up a little bit in some cool stuff. Oh, nice. Garetta was in Terminator 2, Demons, Buy and Sell. Massimo Vanai, who's Gangs of New York, and Robo War, and Strike Commander 2. He is also over 100 stunts in movies. So he went stunt guy heavy. So this is in the world named in the period of the world after the bomb. So, instead of BC, it's now AB.
Oh.
Okay. People live in kind of a separate kind of have not worlds, which they really don't get too much into. You're pretty much in the have not world the whole time. And looks like a 1980s post-apocalyptic film. If you've seen any of the ones that were not high-end budgeting, you know exactly what this movie looks like. Strangely altered cars, motorcycles that are completely impractical, and a kind of punk aesthetic. Directed by Vincent Dawn is in the credits, but we know it wasn't him. Also got weird guns, leather boy looks, colorful scars, a guy who looks like he's straight out of the TV show Kung Fu for some reason, or one of the Mooney guys that used to have in the airport years ago, and women with headbands and weird outfits that make no sense.
Nice.
But all it is, they're starving and stuff. So, in the grand tradition of starving people in movies like this, they find a huge stash of food and then immediately go into, let's throw the food all over the place and have food fights. Like, I don't think that's what they'd be doing. Covering themselves in flour. Like, let's hold back. I do love, part of what I like about Bruno movies is they often make absolutely no sense. Their setup and blockings, the movements, there's a weird shot where somebody shoots a gun and everybody reacts like they heard the gun and they're just around the corner and they're going to go see what's happening, and they go around the corner. It's a completely different part of the building. Nowhere near where the gun was going off. But bottle of J&B does show up. So, he's recognizing his Italian roots. Although the label was taped over because apparently this was so low budget, they couldn't pay to use that. And so the whole idea is the rats are intelligent. The rats go on the attack with organized and effective attacks, all different depending on the situation. So will they survive the night? And yes, unfortunately, the film did have some animal cruelty. Some rats were killed and continued to be used. In the movie, you actually can see one or two of them, like, there's one of the dead ones.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
When Garetta was asked if Claudio actually directed anything, she said, hell no. I hear the same crap regarding Dario and Lamberto when we were all on Demons. Is that really talented people like Bruno allow other people to have opinions, chime in, come up with stuff, but Rats is Bruno's film. Like, well, good for you, Bruno. Use some sets from Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America, which had deteriorated on their own. It was that time distance, and they're just left to rot. This was featured on Riff Track, which is, fine. And Greta took the role after her roommate turned it down. Let's see, this is her second film made in Italy. She didn't speak Italian, and it shows. But so it's fine. If you know Bruno Mattei, you know exactly what you're getting in for. It looks ridiculously good.
Oh, it does?
Oh, man, it's Severin. So they just remastered the hell out of it. I mean, looking good is relative.
Right.
The film print looks probably like it did originally.
Okay. I'm sure.
It's not like
the photography is not suddenly stellar.
No, it's like a cell or something.
We should probably know that you kept saying Terminator 2, but it is not Cameron's Terminator 2.
And it is not Jaws 5.
No.
Cruel Jaws, but I forgot what Terminator 2 one is called, but it's something completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cruel Jaws got in trouble when Severin released it not too long ago, and they had to stop putting out it was a cover sleeve that said Jaws 2. The inside was Cruel Jaws.
Right.
You got in trouble for that one. But
this had to be from your own personal collection.
Hey, it was actually. Yes. Look, Severin's got some new movies. Oh, I don't want to get. Oh, Bruno Mattei's got one. I'll get this.
Vanessa, how about you go next?
All right. So I went with a film I had not seen before, which is 1997's The Edge.
You're the salt of the earth. You're the most excellent man. That's why I married you.
And you're the only woman I've ever wanted.
Stupid lucky guy you are.
A billionaire who has everything he wants.
To a good companion, a good friend, and a good sport. Got it. Okay. And great.
A photographer who wants everything he has.
Nice looking lady. Your wife? Yes. Why'd you ask? Just like to know who everybody is. Must be tough.
All that money. Never knowing what people value you for.
What do you value me for, Bob?
I think your wife's pretty cute.
So, how are you planning to kill me?
Now, two rivals lost in the wilderness are forced to confront nature.
What are we gonna do?
Am I supposed to have a plan?
But they're about to discover
You gotta jump!
nature isn't as dangerous as the nature of man. Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins.
You want to die out here. I'm not gonna die.
Alec Baldwin.
Moneyed folk. Sit up there, drink some golf. You make me sick.
Where civilization ends, survival begins.
Come on, get me!
The Edge.
A pretty big movie, to be honest, starring Anthony Hopkins, 154 credits, such as Silence of the Lambs, Westworld. We talked about Elephant Man on this show. Alec Baldwin, 161 credits. Glengarry Glen Ross, 30 Rock, and up-and-coming film Rust, coming to a theater near you.
Man, you pulled a nice Glengarry Glen Ross and then do him nasty there.
I know. I can't believe it. Anyway, Harold Perrineau is playing Stephen. We would know him from also is in Oz, Lost. Romeo and Juliet is Mercutio, which I was like, oh shit. Okay, well, it's all coming together now. And Elle Macpherson, the actress model from Batman and Robin, is in this. Directed by Lee Tamahiro, who has 15 credits, including Triple X, State of the Union, Next, and Die Another Day. Written by David Mamet, who has 53 credits. Glengarry Glen Ross, Wag the Dog, The Untouchables, Hannibal, etc. And of course, also starring Bart the Bear as the bear. 21 credits, including The Great Outdoors, On Deadly Ground, Homeward Bound, and 12 Monkeys. This story follows billionaire Charles Morse, who's accompanying his wife Mickey, a model, to a photo shoot on a remote Alaskan resort. They are accompanying her photographer Robert and his whole team of assistants, stylists, other photographers, etc. When they arrive at the remote lodge, the owner warns them not to leave any food out as it will attract bears. On the first night, they have one man dress up as a bear, Robert, to surprise him and scare him because Charles is having a birthday. So they do a big surprise birthday party. His wife gives him a watch. Robert gives him a pocket knife. Very important things that will come into play later. And he was also gifted by somebody we don't meet a old school survival book that he carries around and sort of obsessively reads in the corner by himself. On the shoot, Charles observes that Bob and Mickey seem to be flirting. He's a very jealous and paranoid man. He looks at, responds to basically any man looking her way, and we see this happen time and again. He doesn't confront him yet because Bob decides he wants to go find a Native American man named Jack Hawk because he wants him to be in one of the photos. And so Mickey encourages Charles to go ahead and go on the plane with him when they have to fly quite a distance away to this guy's house and to go get him. He agrees because he's like, fuck, why not? I guess I might as well have an adventure. And on the plane, he begins to confront Bob when the plane hits a flock of geese and goes down. Only Bob, Steven, the guy from, and Charles survive the crash. From then on, Charles takes charge using his book smarts to help them survive. The only hiccup is a giant, quote-unquote, Kodiak bear that has decided to hunt them down at every turn. Will Charles, Robert, and Steven get out of the woods alive? Will Charles's book smarts get them into more hot water than if they'd probably just stayed still in the first place? Will Charles accuse Rob of trying to kill him, steal his wife, and take his fortune only to be proven wrong, then right, then kind of wrong again? Will Charles and Rob bond over murdering a bear, eating it, wearing its hide, and travel across the vast wilderness? Only for Rob to double-cross him out of nowhere? Seems weird. And will Charles arrive back to see his loving wife with the knowledge that she cheated on him, only to give her the incriminating evidence, and as the film ends, basically say, "Fuck you"? Stay tuned.
For the credits.
For the credits. This one was not quite what I expected it to be. I did not expect to see Sir Anthony Hopkins say, "Today I'm gonna kill a motherfucker," to the bear. That was pretty crazy. There was a lot of really good lines throughout. I think it was really well written, but it was really frustrated how it was directed. There was a lot of music leading us through different things. Every time we thought that maybe Charles was just paranoid and that Rob was actually a normal cool dude just getting us through the situation in the most human way possible, they threw a music cue in to make you feel like Rob is actually bad. I was like, you gotta stop. The bear is a serial killer. It's weird. He's also not the Kodiak bear, I think that's made up because he's just a grizzly bear, people. I mean, grizzly bears they're rough, but they're not that rough. Yeah. Young Anthony Hopkins is still very old. And I think I enjoyed it because survival movie, and that's kind of like an end of the world movie. And I was obsessed with Hatchet as a kid, so the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not the film. Just a couple of really small pieces of trivia. This is one of Bart the Bear's final acting roles before his death in May 2000 at the age of 23. For all the chase scenes where the bear is seen breaking branches, twigs, small trees, etc., the material used was made out of breakaway balsa wood. Several trainers were strategically positioned around the perimeters where the bear worked. The area was checked and cleared for all debris hazard to the bear, and moss and sawdust were laid on the ground to cushion his feet. Sir Anthony Hopkins almost died. He was taking painkillers for a neck problem. He fell in the river. He didn't feel how cold he was, and he became hypothermic and had to be rushed to the hospital to be treated. And that's all I've got.
Wow. How old was Harold Perrineau in this? Was he a kid?
He looks so young. I feel so awful. I was like, is this Chris Rock? Because he's thinner and he's like really got this energy, and his the shape of his eyes look different. He is young. He looks young. So no, he's to me was pretty unrecognizable. I was just surprised in the credits. I was like, oh shit, it's you. I spent so much time with you this year.
Okay. I've never seen The Edge.
Really?
I saw it. I don't. Long ago, like 97 or 98, and I remember it being fine.
Yeah, it's a fun 90s action film. It's in that long league of 90s action films that have a similar tonal.
Yeah.
I don't know. They feel like they're their own thing. But it's pretty well done. It's very over the top, but you know.
Mamet wrote some good stuff.
Yeah, Mamet wrote some good stuff.
Not everything he wrote, but he did some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, 5 minutes, and I am talking about a recent classic, Keanu.
Hey, man. How are you? How you doing?
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Are you okay?
Maisie broke up with me.
Well, it's gonna be okay.
You're right, Clarence. I want you to meet Keanu.
No. Oh my God, that's the cutest guy I've ever seen in my life. Why's your door open?
Keanu.
Keanu! I'm sorry.
Oh, what's up, bro?
I'm here because my place got broken into. Has anyone shady come by here?
I mean, the 17th Street Blips.
The 17th Street Flips. Okay, where are they?
17th Street.
Let's just go check it out. What's the worst that can happen?
One beer, please.
I'll take a white wine spritzer.
Clarence.
Yeah. What?
You can't talk like that.
You sound like John Ritter all the time.
You in the right place?
Yeah, we're in the right place.
Tectonic.
Nice. My name is Shark Tank.
Oh.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Cheddar's got Keanu.
We in the market right now for like a gangster pet. You serious? I am not breaking the law. We just feed him some bull about New Jack City and we get Keanu.
You ain't never seen nobody get killed before?
I've seen people get killed before.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
Keanu needs you. I need you.
Where are you?
What do you think my idea of fun was?
Why are you talking to me like that?
I talk like that sometimes.
Check it. Buckshot. So what you got?
Me?
Appendix. Blam.
They took it out of my body.
What?
Mm-hmm. You okay, Keanu? Keanu! Here, kitty! See what we got here.
What is this?
Oh, this my shit right here.
Yeah.
From 2016. Directed by Peter Atencio, who has mostly television credits, including 16 episodes of The Midnight Show and 6 episodes of Jean-Claude Van Johnson. Remember that one?
Oh, jeez.
No.
You don't? Oh,
Nope.
it's actually pretty good. And 54 episodes of Key and Peele.
Oh, jeez.
Written by Jordan Peele, who has 18 credits, including Get Out, Us, Nope, and the Candyman remake, Wendell and Wild, and 40 episodes of something called The Last OG. Not familiar with it.
Don't know that one.
And also Alex Rubens, who's got 54 episodes of Key and Peele, 4 episodes of Rick and Morty, and 25 episodes of Community.
Oh, cool.
Starring Keegan-Michael Key, who has 109 episodes of Mad TV, which I completely forgot.
Oh, wow.
55 episodes of Key and Peele, and Bucky Larson, and The Predator just recently. And Jordan Peele, who has 20 episodes of The New Twilight Zone, 81 episodes of Big Mouth, and 55 episodes of Key and Peele. They were both in Weird Al's White and Nerdy video.
Yes. Driving the car.
Right. And then Tiffany Haddish is in this. She was in Wishes, The Oath, Nobody's Fool. Also in this is Method Man, Daryl Britt Gibson, Will Forte, Louise Guzman, Rob Hubel, and Anna Faris as a very ridiculous version of herself. You guys have seen Keanu?
I have, yes.
So the movie starts with a pair of assassins that kill everyone in a drug processing facility run by a Mexican cartel. Everyone, that is, except for a ridiculously adorable little kitten that somehow makes it out while guns are blasting and shit is exploding all around him. And then we meet the main characters of the story, Rel, who is despondent because he just got dumped by his girlfriend, and Clarence, his best friend, who is married. Rel finds this adorable kitten, falls immediately in love with it, and names him Keanu. And you guys, everyone would fall in love with this kitten.
Oh, yeah.
He is so goddamn beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So while Clarence's wife is off on a weekend trip with some friends, Clarence and Rel are going to have a guy weekend, and they start by going out to the movies. They're having a pretty good night, but when they get back, they find that Rel's place has been ransacked and Keanu is missing. Clues point to the fact that Rel's neighbor is a drug dealer, and the people he deals with might have thought Rel's house was actually the dealer's house, so they probably have his kitten. And in judgment that really only makes sense in these kind of movies, they both decide they're going to go find this gang and get Keanu back. The first place they hit is a strip joint where they are mistaken for the two assassins from the beginning of the movie, and they go along with it because they find that Keanu is there with the gang, but they can't get him safely out yet. So this leads to them getting involved with the gang, where they are expected to sell a new street drug called Holy Shit and get into misadventure after misadventure, trying to just make it through the night and get Keanu back. There are a couple of very hilarious moments in the movie, much of them concerning Rel and Clarence having to be a lot more black than they actually are. They take on the names Tectonic and Shark Tank and start teaching this gang of pretty rough individuals how to be stone cold killers. There's also an extended George Michael joke running through the movie with an amazing payoff and an absolutely bonkers cameo by Anna Faris. This movie is a goddamn delight.
Yes.
Second time I've seen it, and I really, really loved it. Very, very funny. And, of course, the two real assassins from the beginning are also played by Key and Peele. Trivia. 7 cats and kittens played Keanu. Each one received a case of Fancy Feast and an assortment of cat toys.
Aww.
Since Keegan-Michael Key is allergic to cats, he had to take a medication in order to interact with them. And then in an interview with Ellen on her talk show, Tiffany Haddish stated that she kept one of the cats after filming.
Aww.
So
that's awesome.
Keanu Reeves has a cameo as the voice of Keanu. This was a last-minute addition. Just before the film was screened at South by Southwest, Reeves contacted Key and Peele directly and expressed interest in being involved, though his representatives had declined an earlier request from Key and Peele. Reeves was intrigued by the film's first trailer. It's called Keanu. This is not available to stream anywhere, but I own it because it's so goddamn cute.
Oh,
excellent. Love it.
So good.
Boom.
Damn. It's pretty good.
Yes. Eric, I thought this was an excellent topic. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
Did you like Keanu?
It's been such a long time. I saw it in theaters, and I remember liking it, but I would like to rewatch it because
it's super
it's been
cute.
a while.
It is really cute.
I did remember Keanu Reeves' voice popping up and be like, yeah. Oh.
Vanessa, that means that you have the next subgenre topic.
Oh gosh, you're right. Well, we recently lost a legend. Mr. Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st, so a couple weeks ago. So I think if we each chose a film from his catalog, that might be pretty cool.
I love this idea.
Yeah, definitely. He's done a few films.
Yeah, I think there's plenty to choose from in there. More action than you might expect, but nonetheless.
Well, I like that.
Yes.
Okay, that means that we have come to the end of the show where we're thanking everybody for liking and sharing posts, or thanking people like David who texted us and sent in a lovely donation.
That's right.
We're thanking people who are on the Strange Eons Radio Facebook page, the talk page, and we're thanking everybody who's talking about us on YouTube or however you watch this. If you're leaving us a nice review, we really appreciate that. Or if you want to be like David, you can hit the Strange Eons Radio hotline and text it at 253-237-4266. What have I left out?
Nothing. Value for value.
Well, it's called value for value.
There you go.
Yes.
If you get some value out of this, you give some value back, and we really appreciate that.
Yes.
And
So,
thank you.
You've got a prop here. Do you want to talk about it
I
at
have a
all?
book out called Thorns, if you are so inclined. It's been getting lovely reviews.
Go to your local bookstore and order it. More fun that way.
It's pretty dark.
This is true.
Okay, guys.
Martha's in D.C. right now. I don't know if he's read it yet, but I'm very curious to see what he thinks.
Good Lord. All right, guys. How about we reconvene in 7 short days, and we are talking about Val Kilmer. See you next Thursday.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
And it was really helpful. And I was like, you know what? I don't need Facebook. I have my own friend now.